Postpartum depression is one of the most common but unrecognized complications after childbirth, and it happens to close to 10 to 15% of women after childbirth yearly. According to recent statistics and study, it has been known that out of 7 women, at least one of them would have postpartum depression after childbirth. And now this postpartum depression is something that a lot of people don't want to admit to because they don't even know if that is what they are feeling. They do not know the symptoms, they do not know the causes, they do not know when they should seek a medical attention. And a lot of people would not even talk about it because people would start isolating them, or people would not even relate with them. They see them as, is it not like this person is mad? In Yoruba, they call it abisiwin. And it is also noticed that some people tend to have this postpartum depression before, it is called prepartum. Like during pregnancy, they tend to feel this kind of weird feeling. And all of this is what we'll be discussing today on Life Social brought to you by Uzomia Television. I am Ayomiko, the only sexy sugar mommy of Lagos. And if you're yet to subscribe to the channel, do that right now. Follow every of our social media platform and make sure you're giving this video a thumbs up and sharing because you might be helping a mother out there. Postpartum depression occurs in degree. We have several degrees and we can identify that as the types of postpartum depression. The first of the type is the baby blues. Baby blues is just like a situation, a kind of complication that happens after childbirth in a woman, whereby she just feels a kind of being lost or some overwhelming reaction after childbirth. And this only extends for nothing more than 2 weeks. So it's just like a mild condition, that is something that would go. Whenever you give birth to a child, it comes with a lot of emotion. You're happy, oh, this is my product, this came out for me, all of those kind of, sometimes some people feel happiness, they are joyous. Some people feel like, what's this? I don't want to associate myself with this baby, I don't like it. So all of these things are just like things you can see during baby blues because it's just this very mild condition. But when it extends to the next one, which is postpartum depression, this one can go on and on for 3 months, 4 months, or even a year after childbirth. And this is a situation whereby you're having this kind of feeling, weird feeling, and all of that. I will be identifying the symptoms later on, but we should just go in degree of what the types are. Then the most severe of all of this condition is the postpartum psychosis. This one is more than baby blues, is more than the postpartum depression, and it is the very worst one. At this point, the mother is already thinking of suicide, or even thinking of harming the child, inflicting pain. You see some mothers after childbirth, they'll be pinching their babies. Some people will be cutting their babies. It's not their fault. A lot of people tend to say this people are otiyawere. No, it's not like otiyawere. It's just their mental well-being, and it is a complication that can happen to anyone. And you would not even be able to know what will happen to you because our bodies differ from each other. Some mothers would be like, okay, I would work towards it to not happen to me. No, you can't really say. It just comes naturally. It's not how we manage it. So now let's go to the symptoms of postpartum depression. Let's start with baby blues. When we talk about baby blues, it's just like the things that you feel during your menstrual period. Whenever you're after childbirth, you can just feel this kind of mood swing, that's basic. Or you just feel like irritability. Whenever you see anything that is just weird or something, you're just irritated or something. Or maybe you just feel some kind of overwhelming reaction, or you just feel like you lack sleep, it's normal. And this one will just extend for 2 weeks max. And when it now extends to the postpartum depression, in that situation, you tend to have a depressive mood. If you're having a mood swing, then it is a very severe one. That is not the basic one that you just feel like, I'm not happy today, then I'm happy. No, this one gets so much. You start having insomnia. Not being able to sleep is one thing. Having insomnia is an extended one. At this point, you don't even find sleep. You're wide awake, opening your eyes, all day long. And when it comes to the postpartum psychosis, this is actually the most brutal. The feelings you find there, you start hallucinating, you start becoming delusional, you start having a kind of feeling whereby the only thing you want to do is just either to kill the child or to harm the child, cut the child. You start having suicidal thoughts. You start feeling a feeling of hopelessness. Oh, I'm not a mother. Why am I this? Why is this happening to me? You start feeling so weird. So all of these things are what is associated with postpartum depression. Now, what causes postpartum depression in its entirety? Some people, basically for mothers, what causes it is maybe when they have an emotional abuse from their marriage. Some of them domestic violence. Some of them lack of love and affection during pregnancy or after pregnancy or during childbirth. Some of them is the pains that they felt during the child labor. Maybe at the point of giving birth, they had to do some CS or they had to go through an overstretched labor time. All of these things are what can cause it in a woman. And sometimes the background, some experiences, maybe they've been a rape victim, or if they had at a point in time underwent depression, so they are very likely to get this postpartum depression. And let me shock you with one thing. Do you know that the father can also have depression after birth, and it is called paternal postpartum depression? Yes. This is a situation whereby the father of the child tends to feel some kind of overwhelmingness, not being calm, excessive anger, among several other things. The father is now the one that is feeling the postpartum depression. He was not the one that carried the baby. And people will be like, what causes that? Of course, if the father is not financially capable, if he's going through some financial stress, then he can have postpartum depression. If he had some kind of issue with depression too, he can also have postpartum depression, among several other things. The same thing that happens to the mother that leads her to having postpartum depression is what we also notice in the father. So when the treatment comes, if your depression or if the baby blues is already extending to more than 2 weeks, you need to seek a medical attention. You need to seek a mental health practitioner. You need to reach out to people, reach out to your partner. And when you feel like you're already hating your child and you feel like I'm not enough and all of that, reach out to your partner or people you feel like they can help you out and take the baby. And on the last note, if you are an individual and you have a friend that is undergoing a situation like this, do not wait for them to improve. Recommend them to people that can help, the medical health practitioner. Reach out to primary health care. And I think with this, we are able to sensitize a lot of people about postpartum depression. And it is not a disease. It is just not a character. It is something that they can control, and we only need to help them. Don't isolate them. It's not their fault. Don't isolate them, it's not their fault. And until next time, Sugar Mommy of Lagos will be doing this with you and sensitizing us on several things to live a healthy lifestyle. I leave you with a lot of love, joy, peace, and happiness.